Every year, thousands of people decide they're ready to quit smoking. But for many, it's not as simple as putting down a cigarette. Nicotine addiction is powerful, and for those who have tried to quit time and time again, it can feel impossible. On this episode of In Their Words, brought to you by UPMC in Central PA and the UPMC Pinnacle Foundation, you'll hear from Bill Attard, who smoked for nearly 5 decades after picking up his first cigarette at just 13 years old. After countless unsuccessful attempts to quit, he found something different through UPMC's smoking cessation program: education, accountability, encouragement, and a community of people who understood exactly what he was going through. Now, 6 years smoke-free, Bill shares the lessons that changed his life and why, no matter how many times you've tried before, it's never too late to try again.
A brief background is I started smoking when I was 13, and I've tried to quit. Oh, I can't even remember how many times. And I have a very addictive personality, so it was very hard. It was just too easy to buy a pack of cigarettes, and it made it very hard to get through my urges. And I just want to say that I'm not one of those people that could quit easy. I pretty much gave up on trying to quit. And the last time I started to feel it in my chest, it was starting to get where I couldn't breathe very well. And I really didn't even enjoy smoking cigarettes anymore, but I still couldn't quit. This program was Pamela Miller was invited to my workplace. The
Mhm.
company had paid for it, and they asked people if they wanted to try quitting. And I figured, why not give it another shot? It was free. So Pam came. It was a 6-week program. I believe it was an hour for each session. And we went through a chapter every time we met in a binder, a book, and it discussed the things that the nicotine does to you, what cigarettes do to you, how to handle triggers, all that stuff. But the biggest thing was that it was when you had a group of people and everybody was the discussion, he would read from the book, and then that would turn into a discussion amongst the people in the group. And you find that you have so much in common. Everybody is going through the same process and the same triggers, and pretty much everything you're experiencing, they experienced. So I found it very interesting because you didn't feel like you were alone, and you got ideas from different people, different things that they've tried that maybe you want to try. And it just works better when you have accountability and you get different ideas from people.
Right.
So we went to the course here at work for 6 weeks, but then I continued with Pamela. I went to another course at the hospital, and the same thing, but with different people. So doing it twice was more beneficial because you got even more input from other people. And it just worked well with the other methods of quitting. In the past, I've tried the patches and everything that's out there to try to quit, and it just never worked. With this program, with the smoking sensation, and also doing the patches or whatever else it takes to get through it and not rushing through it, that was the biggest part of it that I learned, is that you can't rush through it. I am one of those people that I am not one that can quit easy. Like I said, I have a very addictive personality, so it's very hard for me to stop something. So I really give Pamela and that program a lot of credit. I think because of that program, I am smoke free for 6 years. And that's just unbelievable for me. To be honest with you, I can't believe I've gone that far. And it was because you can't say enough about not rushing it. If it takes 2 or 3 sensation classes and staying on step one of the patches for 3 months, so be it. It's a lot cheaper than cigarettes these days. So take it slow. That's all I can say is take it slow and let it work its course. But we did talk about our past, and primarily we talked about what we were going through at this moment, how we were feeling physically, mentally, and how many attempts we've made to quit, all the triggers that we have. I mean, it's like your whole life revolves around smoking. I mean, you'd be surprised that everybody is going through the same thing as far as smoking being part of your life. Everything you did, you got in the car and you lit up a cigarette. You lit up a cigarette before you got to work. You get lit up a cigarette before you walked in the door. Everybody said the same thing, and it was kind of enlightening that you're not different, and it's very, very addictive. So I think I like the smell of it. It was just like any other drug, I guess. You do it once. As a matter of fact, I didn't even like it the first time, but the nicotine got to me. I grew up in New York, and that's where I started. I was in the Navy for 4 years and then moved to California for 20 years. I remember trying to quit a few times out in California. And, it's as soon as you get a little stressed or something bothers you or makes you angry, it was just too easy to stop at the local store and buy a pack. You look for any excuse to buy a pack of cigarettes. Mainly in my lungs, especially in the later part. I noticed I couldn't take a full breath comfortably. Everything I did took a lot more. And you also lose all your sense of smell and everything else, your sense of taste, especially the smell. You know how you smell like coffee in the morning? And I don't feel it in my chest. I know if I would have continued to smoke, I would have been in pretty sad shape. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. And you can't take a full breath. I walked through like a supermarket and there's somebody in front of me that just came out of their car smoking a cigarette. And I can't believe I smelled like that. Bad. And that's where the sensation class comes in because you can click with somebody and you support each other. You could get the phone number and then you could just talk to them because people who haven't smoked or just can quit on a whim, smoke once a month or whatever, they really don't understand what you're feeling. What kind of money was I spending? Well, a pack a day. At the time, it was probably around $7 a pack. So I can't do the math in my head, but actually what I did is I got an app on my phone and it kept track of how many cigarettes you didn't smoke, how many days and how much money you saved and all that stuff. So the app also works into the program. There's plenty of apps on your phone, but that kind of helped keep track of how much money, because that like right now, I think it's almost $10 a pack. The shame of it is that when you're young, you don't see the future. You don't see the damage until it's there. The discussions help a lot. Getting the ideas from different people and knowing that they are going through the same thing you're going through, talking about triggers and how to avoid the triggers, like Pam was talking about, having to change your route to work. Because if you take the same route every day, your routine's going to be the same with the cigarettes. Break that cycle. This is pretty much what you got to do is break the cycle. I would highly recommend it. Most of the people at work that went through the course didn't make it, but this was my time and it was given to me. Really, I appreciate the management that I don't know who initiated the course, if Pam came here or the job called them. That's why I said, well, how can I not try? It's a matter of not giving up. Just keep going and don't rush it. That's my take. Even just the discomfort, even just the weakness, the strength that is. I never thought I'd be able to go to work without smoking because everything revolved around I had to go out and have a cigarette before I did this. I had to have a cigarette before I did this. And so I panic. I don't know if I could do it if I don't have a cigarette. But I don't know how long it actually took to where I've stopped feeling the urge. And you still have the occasional thoughts, but not enough to get you to go back. But I don't think it ever goes away. There's always going to be something. And that's the other thing is that the triggers are all over the place. It does feel empowering. I feel proud of myself, to be honest with you. Pamela is a great teacher. If you have any questions or issues or whatever it may be, she's there to help you. I can't thank her enough.
Bill's story is a powerful reminder that lasting change rarely happens overnight. Sometimes success comes from having the right support, the right resources, and the willingness to keep trying. Programs like UPMC's Smoking Cessation Program provide patients with the tools, guidance, and encouragement they need to take control of their health, one step at a time. Through the support of donors to the UPMC Pinnacle Foundation, programs like this can continue reaching individuals and families across our communities. Thank you for listening to In Their Words. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might find hope in Bill's story. To learn more about the UPMC Pinnacle Foundation and the programs your generosity supports, visit our website. Until next time, thanks for listening.